Kenorland Minerals is a grassroots exploration company focused in North America. It was originally founded by the CEO, Zach Flood, Scott Smith, Dave Stevenson, and Francis McDonald. They started the company when they were all about 30 years old. It was private. They were bootstrapping the company in their basement, and they've developed it into what's becoming a world-class project generator. I'll be making some forward-looking statements. I'll get the share structure and financial information out of the way. It's a very tight share structure, only 79 million shares outstanding, no warrants. We've got a healthy cash position of around 16 million. We've got some equity investments too. We do generate revenue, so we collect management fees on all the projects we operate, which I'll get into a couple through this presentation. Some really strong shareholders, Sumitomo Metal Mining and Centerra are both 10% holders in the company. All the major Quebec funds are invested. Adrian Day through Euro Pacific's an investor. John Tognetti wrote the first check for the company. He owns about 14% of the company. Paul Stevens, Rick Rule are also very supportive shareholders and appreciate the type of work we're doing. So as I said, we're a project generator. We do things on a very large scale. We've got over 2 million hectares of ground. We've actually staked about 1.3 million hectares over the last 2 years, of which around 600,000 have been screened so far. So we've got another 700,000 hectares to screen. We've been primarily focused in Ontario. And with that ground, we take a very systematic approach to the exploration. We screen it with large scale geochem surveys, trying to find a drill target. And we look to partner up with either a major or a junior company. And through this systematic approach, we've made a number of discoveries, including Frotette, where we now hold a 4% NSR royalty.
Right.
So the Frotette project, we originally staked that back in 2018. It's located in the Frotette-Evans Greenstone Belt in the Abitibi. It's an hour north of Chippewa. We optioned this out to Sumitomo Metal Mining once we staked it. We made a major high-grade gold discovery in 2020, took the company public, and up until today, we just announced a maiden resource of 2.5 million ounces at 5.5 grams per ton. So an exceptional start to what's really a rare and unique style deposit. Sumitomo is now the 100% operator and are doing permitting and engineering for an underground decline. So this is just a grade shell model. Again, it's there's a lot of blue sky here. You've got the CN tower there for scale. As we keep drilling, we keep hitting higher grade veins. This will kind of give you a better indication. Those call outs there's one down at 1100 meters, hole 252, 6.7 meters at an ounce per ton. Those call outs aren't even included in the resource, so there's still a lot of blue sky potential. With this resource, it's just a start, and we've got a 4% royalty, which is really rare and unique. In terms of catalysts at Frotette, we announced the resource already. Sumitomo is currently doing a drill program at the moment. They're also looking to be doing some preliminary economic studies to help with resource expansion. And then in terms of a decline decision, that will be made sometime later in 2027. And then the construction of that decline, which gives a good indication that this is going to become a mine, will be probably sometime in 2028. This slide highlights the potential of these high-grade orogenic systems. On the slide, there's Island, Macassa, Lamaque, Windfall. They keep growing as they're in production, so they keep finding more gold. That little blue dot there is where we're at. One example I like to select is Windfall. Windfall was 1.6 million ounces after only 180,000 meters of drilling. So, you put Renault here, 2.5 at 127,000 meters. There's still a lot of potential here for this thing to grow. This slide kind of represents what's going on in the royalty space. So Origin Royalties is probably our closest peer. They're another project generator. They recently sold their Silicon royalty in Nevada for 343 million Canadian to Triple Flag. And Triple Flag paid around a 1.7 NAV on that. These royalties go at a premium, just because, as I showed in the last slide, these assets do grow, and they're rare and unique. And having a 4% royalty provides a lot of leverage, especially on a smaller operation. So, as I mentioned, we're a project generator. I only have time really for one other project to go through. That is the South Uchi project. So the South Uchi project is in the Red Lake District, about 90 kilometers east of the Great Bear project, which I think a lot of you are familiar with. We recently optioned this out to a private company called Ornova Resources. That's headed up by Tom Obradovich, Chris Taylor from Great Bear, and entrepreneur Tim Young. We have a 30% project interest to carry to a PEA, a 2% uncapped NSR royalty, and a significant equity ownership of around 14% of Ornova. So that's and that gives you an idea of what type of deals we structure when we farm out some of our projects. We've had South Uchi for about 4 years. Over that time, we've done a lot of the work there. We've been able to develop a large coherent gold and till anomaly. We found widespread gold mineralization in the bedrock, and there was no previous gold occurrences in the area. So that's what attracted Ornova to the project. And we started a drill program last year, and we've hit a lot of smoke so far. So we've done about 20,000 meters of drilling over an 8x5 kilometer area. We're going back in there next month in that shaded red area to do another program. So we're on the cusp of another discovery, we think, here at Paponga, and it's quite exciting. And we have a lot of other projects that are at various stages working up to something like this as well too. And I'll just finish off. Kenorland's performed quite well over the last 2 years, and we think we're going to continue to perform well with the royalty. That's really our crown jewel, and the exploration upside in all of the other projects we've got. It's the best analogy is we're taking a lot of shots on goal with the projects that we've got in the portfolio, and then that's what you're invested in. We've got as I showed there, South Uchi. We've got another project with Centerra at West Wabigoon, which we'll be drilling in Q2. There's another discovery up in Quebec by Target Exploration at Opanaka, where we hold a 3% NSR royalty. So there's just a lot of optionality within the portfolio, and I encourage you guys to come by the booth and chat with me to learn more about the company. And so thank you for your time, and thank you for allowing me to speak.